Well, thank you, Matt. And I'd like to close us out really by underscoring the message that you've heard from my fellow co-chairs, from Matt Cartwright, Debbie Dingell, Ted Lieu, and of course we're grateful to the chairman of our caucus and the vice chairman for their leadership. But it is clear that the House Democratic Caucus is united around the Build Back Better agenda, which really has three core pillars. One, as you heard so astutely from my colleague from Michigan, creating American jobs, rebuilding our infrastructure, and building clean energy technology to combat climate change. Two, as you heard from my colleague from California, Mr. Lieu, rewarding work by cutting taxes for working families. The vast majority of Americans watching this press conference received a tax cut this year as a result of President Biden's leadership and the leadership of House Democrats and Senate Democrats. And as Chairman Jeffries and Representative Lieu both articulated, not a single Republican voted for them. We are lowering costs, the third core pillar of the Build Back Better agenda, as Representative Cartwright explained, ultimately making sure that the costs that keep American families up at night, like health care and child care and home care for aging relatives, are decreased. And we are doing all of this by paying for the investment to make sure that ultra-wealthy and corporations pay their fair share. Now, this is important. No one making less than $400,000 a year will pay a penny more in taxes. In fact, again, as Ted outlined, working families are going to see their taxes cut because Build Back Better rewards work and not wealth. And that contrast is worth repeating. I wasn't here in 2017 when the Republicans controlled Congress and cut taxes for millionaires and billionaires and corporations. But I'm proud to be here now with Democrats in control of Congress as we cut taxes for working families across our country. You know, the president often says this. He said it when he spoke to the caucus last week, that for far too long, this economy has worked great for those at the top, while ultimately hardworking Americans who built this country get cut out of the deal. We are dealing working people back in by building an economy that gives them a fair shot, and we're going to make sure that it's paid for by asking the ultra wealthy to pay their fair share. So with that, as we turn to questions, I want to turn it back over to someone whom has shown extraordinary leadership, in my view, and I think in the view of my fellow co-chairs, in uniting the various ideological views of the Democratic caucus as a family, and that's our chairman, Chairman Jeffries.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you to the members of the DPCC for that very thorough and compelling presentation. We'll go here, and then we'll alternate both sides.